All right, here we go. In 5, 4. Hello, James Drury here, and welcome to this Saturday morning's strategy session. Each week we discuss or inform, and this week I want to talk to you about something that affects each and every one of us just about every day. Let me ask you this question. Now, I'm not talking about people on Facebook that you may know, or on LinkedIn or Instagram or Snapchat. How many people do you know? Think about it. How many people do you really know? Well, most people, according to statistics, know about five-ish, about 5 people that you're really close with. I'm at 5 to 7, maybe 8 that I'm really close with. About average. But how many of those people have really affected you? Think about that. Think as far back as you possibly can. And how many people have affected your life, either positively or perhaps not so positive? 1, 2, 5. How many? Think about that. Can you remember the first person? I can. You know, it was my grandfather. I didn't realize that he changed my life until much later in my life, after he was long gone. And when I started thinking about who I am and what I do, and why do I do it? I can remember the second person. First one was my grandfather, between 7 and 9. Second one, I was about 22. Changed my life. These 2 people have affected my life for my entire life and still affect what I do and how I think to this day. So, what happened to you? For those people that you met? Was it good or bad? You know, chance meetings is what it comes down to. You know, my grandfather was, that wasn't a chance meeting, but John was my friend John. It was a chance meeting. Think about this. I'm going to give you 2 examples. Steve Jobs met Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak in 1970 through a mutual friend. They later became friends when both Jobs and Wozniak were working at Hewlett-Packard. And those 2 guys, Jobs and Wozniak, were part of this computer club in Palo Alto, California. And hobbyists would get together, they'd try to impress each other, and with their home-developed computers. Now, in '76, Wozniak designed the hardware circuit boards and the operating system, the OS, for the computer that became known as Apple. Jobs convinced Wozniak to sell the Apple I as a fully assembled printed circuit board. Wozniak sold his HP Scientific computer. Jobs sold his Volkswagen for $1,600, and they became Apple. And they started in a garage. A chance meeting of 2 people. Let me give you another example. John Lennon first met Paul McCartney, I hope everyone knows who they are, in Liverpool in 1957. John was fronting for a group called the Quarrymen. The 2 were introduced to each other by a mutual friend. Then his name was Ivan Vaughan, and he was the bass player for the Quarrymen that John was in. McCartney showed Lennon how to tune his guitar, sang some songs by Gene Vincent, 50s and 60s rocker, and Little Richard, Good Golly Miss Molly, Little Richard. And they were songs that the Quarrymen were trying to master, and Lennon was both impressed with and challenged by McCartney, and the feeling was mutual. And McCartney later wrote that he was amazed by Lennon's singing style and the presence as a frontman. Those 2 formed a group known as the Beatles. chance meetings. So why is this important to you and me? Well, it's important because I think a lot of us may have some old tapes running in our head. When we were children, our parents told us what? What was one, usually from the mother. Do you remember anything that your mother was like a commandment, was like, don't ever do this? When we were parents, I know my mother said it. When we were children, our parents told us what? Not to talk to strangers. Good advice. Great advice for children. But for adults, I consider it a missed opportunity. Because when it comes right down to it, like it says here, name of my speech, you can never know enough people. So I'm going to challenge you. Open yourself up and go out there and meet someone new today. Because that person could change your life. Or you may change theirs. Take care. Have a great week. Thanks.